Hey everybody, how's it going? Time for the next special event. It is a limited series featuring the new Lamborghini Countach, sort of the tribute edition to the old classic LPI 804. Right, so this limited series is a 7-day event, so as soon as you start the event, the timer goes off. You got 7 days to complete it, and upon completing the first race, it triggers the 3-hour instant service and instant racing dollar upgrades. So as always, don't start upgrading right away as soon as you start the event. Instead, wait till you complete that first event or first win that first trophy so you can take advantage of the 3-hour instant service offer. And in terms of rewards wise, you get to win the car itself, of course, which is worth some 750 gold and 5,250 victory points, 75 gold, and 300,000 racing dollars. And to complete the series and to win the car, you need to meet the PR requirement of 81.6. So this car, the base PR, here, I guess we'll check into the series and talk about it while we are at it. And of course, the one that you just saw is the old classic Lambo Countach from back in the day, customized to sort of a tribute to the a great musician that passed a couple of years ago. Anyway, Lamborghini Countach LPI 800-4 limited series. Earn a Lamborghini Countach LPI 800-4 by 100% completing this series. Eye-catching exterior and an engine that turns heads every time. Meet the homage to the visionary design that revolutionized modern sports cars forever. Yeah, the Countach, right? If you're of certain age, this is like the picture of the car that you had on your wall growing up. I had a little model way back when, but anyway, that's another lifetime ago. Anywho, so here's the breakdown of the rewards broken down into 25% increments. So first 25% completion wins you 750 victory points, 10 gold, 30,000 racing dollars. And of course, you get that upon completing tier 4. And 50% completion rewards include 1,000 victory points, 15 additional gold, and 60,000 racing dollars. 75% completion rewards include additional 1,500 victory points, 20 gold, and 90,000 racing dollars. And finally, the 100% rewards you the grand prize, the car itself, 2,000 victory points, 30 gold, and 120,000 racing dollars. Right, so anyway, the car itself, because it is featured in a bonus series with a couple of other Lambos, namely Hurricane R3 Spec and Hurricane STO, even though this is going to be the only car that can meet the PR requirement to 100% complete that series, Lamborghini Love Letter. Because it's featured alongside a couple of other cars, there is a showcase discount you can take advantage of if you miss out on this instance of winning the car. For with a 20% off, the car will cost you 600 gold, which is still a fair amount pricier than if you were to win it through this series. So here, let's get the series complete with the gold. Pick up what we need to pick up. and then we'll talk about upgrade path and the cost associated with it and whatnot. All right. So as you can see, yep, triggers that 3-hour instant service. And interesting backdrop for the limited series screen here. So the final tier, tier 15, let's confirm the PR requirement, 81.6. All right, so that should be achievable with getting 3 upgrades across the board, 21 upgrades total for the cost of some 470 gold and 1,602,600 racing dollars. So base PR is 67.6. So we need to add what? Exactly 14 PR points. And so here we go. We'll get the tier 1 upgrades across the board. Normally these will take 12 hours, but obviously upon winning your first trophy, you trigger that instant service or instant R&D. So remember, 12 hours, that's 7 upgrades. That's a lot of ads to watch if you miss out on it, only to find out you could have waited one race and get it done immediately without having to watch any ads, right? So anyway, here we go. Let's get the tier 1 upgrades, which are the racing dollar upgrades. Tier 2 is all gold upgrades, pretty typical. All right, and that brings the PR up to 72.3, which is not quite enough to get you the 25% completion reward, unfortunately. So of course, right, point being, there's no free gold to be won if you cannot complete it all the way. Well, even then it's really free, you spend more, right? Anyway, so that's the tier 1 upgrades. Let's continue on. Get the tier 2 upgrades, which is all gold. 80 gold for engine, 75 gold for drivetrain, 60 gold for body, and 70 gold for suspension, another 70 for exhaust, and 50 for brakes, and tires and wheels will cost you additional 65 gold, which totals 470. Right, and that brings PR up to 76.9. So we need that 3rd tier upgrades to get us all the way to meet the PR requirement to win this car from this series. So of course, stage 3 or tier 3 upgrades are all racing dollars. There we go. And while we're at it, we do max out a couple of categories here. Exhaust and brakes, namely. So there we go, exactly 81.6, which also is enough to get you through essentially the 75% in the bonus series, Lamborghini Love Letter. So basically, if you had to kind of crunch the numbers, remember, cars cost is 750 gold, so upgrade cost is 470 gold, which means it's 280 less than if you are to purchase it straight up, right? But we also get 75 gold in return from the limited series, so that's brings down the net cost from this event down to 395 gold. And then there's also, with that PR, there's also some 44 gold you can win from the bonus series, which brings down the net cost of this car's ownership down to 351 gold. And now if you have any victory points on top of that, that you get to win more gold, then obviously additional savings will be there, down to 300, possibly 200s, right? Because there are multiple tiers of gold rewards in this round, right? So, but yeah, that's not too bad, right? Relatively affordable compared to some other cars that we had to own in the recent history, right? So, all right. So that is, oh yeah, and by the way, the bonus series, Lamborghini Love Letter, I'll make a separate video for this in another time, but just a quick overview of that PR requirement. According to what Fire Monkeys say, it requires PR 84.1. Now, if we want to meet that PR requirement, we're gonna have to max out engine and body, and also max out tires and wheels. So we're gonna basically have to spend additional 465 gold. So here, 185 gold for engine, but of course that unlocks that final stage racing dollar upgrade. Brings PR up to 83, and then body is the other category where we get to purchase 2 upgrades for gold upgrade, so to speak. 135 gold for stage 4, and stage 5 is of course the racing dollars. Brings PR up to 84, but obviously they placed that 0.1 PR point right behind that PR wall, right? So we need to get one more upgrade, and tires and wheels is the cheapest one, 145 gold as opposed to 175 for tires, drivetrain, or 160 for suspension. So we'll go with 145, which, yeah, I mean, does kind of overshoot. 84.7, right? But it is what it is. That's the cheapest way to do it. And of course, I had to get the remaining, all the remaining racing dollar upgrades available in on this car, which is additional 748,500 racing dollars. And but I suppose you're that much closer to fully upgrading this car, which will cost you 1,270 gold. So that's 800 additional gold from the limited time series or limited series PR, and additional 335 gold by spending 175 gold on drivetrain and 160 gold on suspension. And maybe in the next version they will have an exclusive series featuring this car, but I am not in a hurry to get there. So I would recommend waiting on the upgrade discount. Get at least some 30% is pretty typical discount rate. So instead of spending additional 800, you're more likely to spend like somewhere in 500 and change, right? So yeah, that's, a couple hundred gold plus. So that helps, right? Anywho, that is all there is to know about the cost associated with this car. Now, let's talk about the series itself. Sure, why not, right? So Tier 1, we got Hunter, Silverstone National, so that's a pretty quick single lap, followed by head-to-head at Hockenheim Grand Prix, should be a single lapper, and it is. And then we got a cup at Dubai Club Circuit, 2 laps, that's a pretty short circuit. Is it shorter than head-to-head? I'm gonna. Oh, that's tricky. Yeah, Dubai Club is not very long. And the head-to-head at Grand Prix circuit, Hockenheim Grand Prix. I almost want to say Hockenheim Grand Prix might take longer, but I think they might be comparable. Anyway, Tier 2, we got Speed Snap at Daytona Motorcycle Course. These variety events at Daytona just longer than most circuits. So, I mean, it's Speed Snap, so it's still gonna be a shorter event than, let's say, Speed Record, but still, you know. Anyway, the next one is Speed Record, taking place at Porsche Test Track Short On-Road Circuit, followed by the Cup at the Brickyard Road Course. 2 laps, PR 70.2 required there. So obviously you do need some upgrades to get past Tier 2. And Tier 3, we got Drag Race, taking place at Nürburgring Grand Prix. Then we got Autocross at Suzuka Grand Prix. And then the Cup is gonna be at Berlin Circuit, Formula E Circuit, 3 laps, PR 71.4 is required. And Tier 4, we got Elimination at Monza Road Course, Endurance at Melbourne, and the Cup at Red Bull Ring National Circuit, 3 laps, PR 72.5 is required, which is just a couple of decimal points above what you can do with the with racing dollar upgrades only, right? Anyway, continuing on, Tier 5, we got Speed Snap at Monza Junior course. And so that's a pretty short and easy one. Then we got Hunter at Catalunya Grand Prix, so that's a full lap, followed by the Cup at Laguna Seca. 3 laps, PR 73.4 required. Alright, so those are kind of medium length, aren't they? Alright, Tier 6, we got another drag race, this one taking place at Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix Circuit, followed by Speed Snap at Le Mans 24-hour Circuit. And the Cup for Tier 6 takes place at Silverstone Grand Prix, 2 laps with a PR requirement of 74.2. Tier 7, we got Endurance at Dubai National, Autocross at Hockenheim Grand Prix, and the Cup at Catalunya Grand Prix Circuit requires PR 75.1, which is what's going to be required for your 50% completion reward, which is the 1,000 victory points, 15 gold, and 60,000 racing dollars. Because, well, I mean, you have to get through Tier 7, but you don't need to complete Tier 8, right, for 50% completion reward, because you need 2 gold trophies here. So you can get it from Elimination at Bathurst Circuit, Mount Panorama, and head-to-head at Berlin Circuit, which is going to be a quick single lapper. Now, continuing on to the second half of the series, you'll have to get past the Cup at Suzuka Grand Prix 2 lapper with a PR requirement of 75.9. And Tier 9, Speed Snap at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix Circuit. Another drag race, this one at Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course, and the Cup for Tier 9 takes place at Spa. 2 laps with a PR requirement of 76.6. Alright, on to Tier 10. We got Speed Record at Monza Junior course, so quick lap. And elimination at Nürburgring Sprint Circuit, and the Cup at Daytona Motorcycle Course, 4 laps with a PR requirement of 77.4. Alright, Tier 11. We got Hunter at Melbourne, head-to-head at Daytona again, but this time at Road Course, another single lap head-to-head, and the Cup at Mount Panorama, 3 laps with a PR requirement of 78.2. Now, that's what you need in order to get past Tier 11 and get to Tier 12, where you're going to need a single gold trophy to claim the 75% completion, which rewards you 1,500 victory points, 20 gold, and 90,000 racing dollars. And you can get it from Endurance at Suzuka West, or you can do autocross at Porsche Test Track Dynamic Circuit. Or if you really wanted to, you can do the Cup at Nürburgring Grand Prix Circuit, you know, because I'm sure if you made this far, you probably got enough upgrades to win the car. So I guess perhaps it's a moot point, but, you know, I figure I'll point that out to you guys. PR 79 is required for this 3-lap Cup at Nürburgring Grand Prix. All right, Tier 13, we got another drag race. That's what? Is that the 4th one? That's more than what I care to see, but oh well. This one taking place at Porsche Test Track, as always, long on-road circuit. Then we got elimination at Laguna Seca and the 24-hour circuit Cup. It's gonna be a 2-lap Cup. Ooh. Yeah. I mean, this one is gonna go faster than the classic Countach, but yeah, it's still gonna be a long race. PR 79.8 required, but hopefully the payout is worth your time. All right, then, but I guess we don't really have a choice, do we now? We have to run through if you want to win it. Tier 14, we got speed record at Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course, so that's a full lap, followed by head-to-head at Dubai International, single lapper. And the Cup for Tier 14 takes place at Austin, Texas, Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix Circuit, 3-lapper with a PR 80.7 required. And that takes us to the final tier, Tier 15. We got Hunter at Suzuka East and Speed Snap at Spa, and the final Cup at Hockenheim Grand Prix, 4-lapper with the PR requirement of 81.6 as we checked earlier, which, once again, just to recap, it's going to cost you some 470 gold and 1.6 million racing dollars and change, right? All right, so that will do it for this Lamborghini Countach LPI 804 Limited Series overview. So I will probably be making my way through this series at some point, so stay tuned to tag along for a ride, and yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next video. All right, take care.